Hello, everyone. My name is Elizabeth, the Education Coordinator for Marlene's Market in Delhi. Tonight's special guest we have with us is Secretario. He is a local health coach and also a co-creator of Good Life Sleep. And he is covering two topics that is actually this month's themes, which is sleep and heart health. Let's give a big warm welcome to Mag. Yay!
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you everyone for being here, sharing a few moments with me. I'm going to share with you a little slide deck I put together. I promise no bullet points, but here we go. So bear with me. It's been only 2 years since I've shared a presentation. So here we go. So let me know that it's working okay. Okay, oops. Let's see if this, oops, I don't have a password to allow me to get in. One moment. Oops. Oops. Let me know if you see anything. Can you see my first page? I cannot see comments.
Got it, man.
Got it.
Looks
Okay.
great.
All right. Thank you. So here we are. Thank you very much again. I just wanted to share with you this little presentation together. Of course, disclaimer to share with you that this is for educational purposes only. In regards to anything to do with your health, consult with your doctors first, right? Okay. So I wanted to begin this presentation with a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who passed away just recently. And I love this quote because this is what heart health is about for me. It's about love. That is the highest energy that we can create as humans. So this is a tiny tribute to Thich Nhat Hanh. And my name is Secretario, and I am a personal energy and potential coach. I'm your pep coach. And what that means is I can help you reach your highest potential. Sleep happens to be a particular topic that I focus on. That's my superpower to help you reach your potential. I'll share with you what I mean by that. You can reach me anytime through GoodLifeSleep. There's my email there. So first of all, how did I end up here talking to you about this? 1999, my wife and I decided to move abroad, and we ended up in London, and we made a home there. We made a life. We spent 17 years there. Our first home, our first properties were in London. We had jobs. Everything was cool until it wasn't cool. The great job that I had caused all kinds of problems. I ran into someone who acted like a bully. So for 9 years, I was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, had nightmares. And I reached a point where I wanted to jump in front of my train. Very dark period in my life. I learned a lot of things. I learned that, my health was more important than any job. And I hope you feel the same. Ended up in A&E, or emergency. I was checking my heart because I felt like I was having a heart attack. I learned a lot of things. And one thing I did learn, I ended up taking 6 months off sick leave. And one thing I learned was binge watching. And I watched all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad in that period of time. But I also learned something else. I read the first book from Arianna Huffington, the first book I had, that really helped me prioritize my life at that moment. And during that 6 months time, I also met, there's no coincidence for this, my entrepreneur mentor, Roger James Hamilton, who I spent several years with, um, and went on a retreat, an entrepreneur retreat in Bali, where I learned probably the most important thing for me was when it came to developing a business was not about the product. And I had a product that I shared with him. I thought it was a skincare product that could help people while they sleep. And that's where he helped me identify a problem, a meaningful problem to solve. That's what he taught me, that better than any product, it was best to solve a problem, a meaningful problem. So that happened to be my own problem of sleep. And I thought that, I was a fairly healthy guy. I practiced martial arts, I ate well, I grew my own organic garden, but I didn't realize I wasn't sleeping well. I didn't manage stress very well. So we decided to pack up everything. In a year's time, we left our corporate jobs. We came back to America with the intention of taking care of my parents, which was another story altogether. 6 years on now. And I came across health coaching as a profession. It was wonderful. I thought I could bring together my love for all things healthy and my experiences in design and creativity, and created GoodLifeSleep thanks to Roger. And I truly believe that it's more about managing our sleep, health, and energy than our time, because we all have the same amount of time. It's what we bring to the table with that time. It's how we show up every day or not. So I truly believe that this is my priority in life, to be as healthy as I can. And while we're here on that subject, I'd love for you to download this gift. It's something that helps explain a little bit about the idea of how sleep, health, and energy, I'm calling the power of she, can help you. It doesn't matter if you're a he or she, because it's just that the power of sleep, health, and energy can change your life, I believe. So I know you're busy. We're all busy. We're all doing so many things these days, more than ever before. But what if you were at the top of your game, you were doing everything that you wanted to do, then all of a sudden you realize your time was limited, that maybe you had a health scare and things changed. I realized myself that without my health, I couldn't do the things that I love. So that really motivated me, inspired me to help others with the idea of making health your priority, our first priority. So that's why we're here. And I want to share with you why this matters to you. Sleep and heart health are connected, and perhaps gain some new perspectives that can help you create a heart healthy life. That's my intention here today with you. So thank you for being here. So let's start with the definition of heart. I mean, we know that it's an organ that pumps blood through our circulatory system. We also know that it is the center of our emotions and love. We know that it represents, in the Ayurvedic tradition, love and nurturing. We know this. So even the color green means that we're able to find balance and peace and harmony and healing. It's the color of green is found everywhere in nature, symbolizing abundance. So we know that also in the Chinese tradition that there's an energy center in Tai Chi and Qigong, and there's one located right in the middle of our heart area, the middle dantian. And this was representing the spirit and the vitality that we all have within us. So I just wanted to share with you one moment here. A little bit about the boring statistics, boring but shocking. over 17 million people die each year. That's more than 5 of the US's top populated cities, over 17 million each year. That's over 600,000 deaths a year in America alone. Every 60 seconds, someone dies from cardiovascular disease. And that's, equivalent to about the population of Portland. I forgot to mention that I'm here also because my mother died of coronary disease also. And I've had my own scares just recently, so I'm really working hard on this. There's also the fact that every 40 seconds, someone has a heart attack. That's 805,000 heart attacks each year. Again, almost equivalent, more than the population of Seattle. So that's a lot of people. And we lose 363, is that $billion? That is the cost of healthcare, lost productivity, medical costs around heart disease. So it's not only a cost to many, many, many lives, it's a cost to the economies, every economy. So where are we with sleep health today? Well, quick question for you, which is, how much sleep do you get? Do you average less than 7 hours or more than 9 hours? And when Elizabeth has a chance, or if you get a chance, I'd be curious about your answer, because this is what I'll share with you. 1/3 of the population gets less than 7 hours. In the US, imagine, that's 110 million people. And on top of that, some studies, proven studies with sleep here. Let me just double check my notes here. This is coming from the Journal of American College of Cardiology. People who sleep less than 6 hours of sleep, who get less than 6 hours of sleep, are 20% increased risk of a first heart attack. So this was a study done, among the US and the UK with over 460,000 people. Too much of a good thing is also bad. So more than 9 hours of sleep, guess what? 34% increased risk of a heart attack. And, there's been a paper, the first of its kind, measuring the economic cost of insufficient sleep by a European company called the RAND Corporation. And this was done in 2016. They figured $411 million in 2016, losing 1.2 million working days per year. That's the cost of a sleep-deprived workforce. And we have this new word. It's called presenteeism. Like absenteeism, only we're present. But guess what? We're so tired, maybe hungover. We're not working at 100%. We're working at 70 or 80%. That has a figure. That has a cost to businesses. Lost productivity and presenteeism, over 400 million. And that was, 6 years ago. So on top of that, we have this event called daylight saving time. And this year, over 70 countries participate, over 1 billion people. And it happens this year on March 13. The following day, there is a shocking statistic. There's a spike of heart attacks, road accidents, injuries, and strokes. Now, when I first heard this from Dr. Matthew Walker, I was shocked. Why does this happen? Well, I think you can figure that out because we're already sleeping a lot less than we should. And so we lose another extra hour. You might be sleeping 5 hours. And then there's an increased chance of a heart attack. So what causes this? Well, we know this, and I know this personally, with high blood pressure right now. But diet, smoking, all these things we know about have been contributing to, cardiovascular disease. But even stress, internal stress and external stress. And not all stress is bad. I mean, I don't know if you've heard this story, but when I heard it, I had to share it. In Biosphere 2, this is a project in Tucson, Arizona, where man is trying to kind of create this environment and grow all these beautiful things within a contained environment. These trees, before they reach maturity, they fell over. And that's because they didn't have a root system. They were missing the wind. The wind, as stress, acts to build their root system. And just like us, we need a little bit of stress, not chronic. We need a little bit to build our resilience. And so not all stress is bad. But then you've got media. You've got these films, people stealing dreams, watch displays that never sleep. I mean, we're bombarded by this very, very subtle influence from media that sleep is not that important, right? In fact, I'll go into more a little bit later, but also people believe, a lot of doctors believe that you might be genetically predisposed for heart disease. Now, I challenge you on this one because there is also this thought, this new science called epigenetics and quantum physics that actually gives you a different perspective on belief systems and how we're connected to our health. And I truly believe this. And even Henry Ford said that, if you believe you can, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So I truly believe that our mindset, our belief system has a strong part to play in our health and well-being. So what is sleep? Well, we know that we know it as a pillar of health, right? That it's part of fitness and nutrition, right? But I'll challenge you again. It is not a pillar. In fact, I truly believe it's the foundation. It's the foundation of health that supports all levels of health. And I'd love to share more with you on this. And what we're doing here tonight is sharing how sleep underpins heart health. So we also define sleep as what it isn't. It's not productive. It's downtime. Maybe it's about our dreams and so forth. So, we don't get paid that much attention to it. It's very functional that way. But in fact, what we've learned is it's also connected to every cause of death in America. And this is the top three, right? Accidents, heart disease, and cancer. Sleep is connected to each of these diseases. We'll just focus on how it's connected to heart health. But once upon a time, we romanticized sleep. The Greek god here, Hypnos, is the son of the goddess Nyx, which is the goddess of night and dark. And this painting depicts this very beautiful romantic idea that Hypnos is sprinkling these poppies, helping us sleep. Like sleep comes from heaven. It's a state of grace. And the Sandman is a similar story to this. But that was quite a long time ago. So what we know now, as far as sleep science, which is only about 60 years old, from neuroscience and sleep science, we learned that actually the brain is more active at certain stages of sleep than it is when you're awake. Imagine. So a whole new science has been developed around studying the brain and sleep. We also know what sleep is, and especially when we don't get it right, immediately you might feel unhappy. Definitely you won't be able to control emotions. And neuroscience and neurobiology backs this up. Just a quick lesson on parts of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the front part of the brain, the reasoning brain, the thinking brain, acts like a brake. It rationalizes and makes us think logically about something. And then there's this part underneath the prefrontal cortex called the limbic system. And it is the emotional brain. And it's an accelerator of sorts in that whatever emotion or response to something outside of us, it accelerates it, whether it's good or bad. So, of course, when you don't get enough sleep, then it's a bad joke, right? So, but it's true. You also cannot focus, cannot retain memories. You cannot learn effectively without enough sleep. And of course, we talked about stress. Stress and anxiety is at such a high level these days. Oh, and I think I shared this already before. So, but, along with not getting enough sleep, we're subject to depression and mental illness, which is huge today. Of course, without sleep, you won't have energy. You cannot heal, and you can't help others. It's true. How can you help others if you're not in the best condition? We also know that with sleep, we learn this from positive psychology and neuroscience also, that we attain greater self-awareness, even increase our ability to feel empathy for others. Generally, you can do more with the people you love, right? If you're at your best, you'll have more attention and focus with your brain power, more creativity. Sleep can even improve your bottom line by making decision-making more clear. And good sleep also is the basis for better relationships and intimacy and even fertility. Reproductive health increases with sleep. So as we know also that sleep also optimizes everything else that you do, gives you strength and vitality, improves your body systems, all of them. And we're talking about cardiovascular here today. Sleep can also enhance your immune system, something that we're all concerned about right now. You know the feeling when you're not sleeping well, you might be prone to catching a cold. So we know this through science also, that with more sleep, we develop these killer T cells. These killer T cells, part of our immune system, even attack cancer cells. So look this up. This is incredible. This is what sleep can do for our immune system. And I wanted to touch on the lymphatic system. It's part of the immune system. It's the way that our body gets rid of toxins. If you've heard of lymphatic massage or lymphatic drain, it's a way of removing toxins by very light touches, because it's a system of getting rid of toxins, but it doesn't have a pump like a heart. So it relies on very light touch on your skin, like a massage. So the brain doesn't have this system. They have a different system formed by glial cells. And these glial cells, when we sleep, they expand and they allow cerebral spinal fluid to flush away toxins. Because every time that we're using our brain or using our body, we have to get rid of the byproducts, the toxins that are created. So it's only through sleep that this is at its best, cleaning your brain. And this also, this because when you have a good rest, maybe even a nap, all of a sudden you feel more clear. And this is what, the lymphatic system does for us. It's the night cleaning crew. And with that, we gain more clarity. So this is the part where we can actually do something. Heart disease is preventable. And this is what's amazing, because we live in a healthcare system, one of the best in the world. And yet all these problems we face, we can actually do something about. So I know it's not easy for some people, but this is the one simple thing you can do to, develop a ritual around sleep so that it can support all your other health body systems. And that's to get to bed to the same time and get up at the same time. Just do the math, work out how many hours you feel best at. Even naps are okay, depending on your situation. And then get to sleep to get those number of hours. I know a lot of people say, oh, I can get by on 6. That might be true, but you don't know what 20 years down the line might happen to you. In fact, what patients with Alzheimer's and dementia, what we found with them is a buildup of plaque. They call it plaque, but there's also another name beta amyloid. So these are toxins, these are proteins from byproducts from working so hard. And these are found in Alzheimer's patients. It so happens that they didn't sleep very well, and that was over a long period of time. So do this, go to bed and wake up at the same time. Easy, doesn't cost anything. Practicing gratitude. There are many exercises around this, but the idea is set the tone for the day by being grateful for what you have, maybe being grateful for just being able to wake up. Because, as far as heart attacks goes and heart disease, the silent killer they talk about, there's a figure around it, but there are many people who don't wake up and have a heart attack in their sleep. So this is one thing I'm grateful for every day and every night. And if you can find time, just be still. And if you're in this practice, meditation is wonderful. These are now proven through science to help regulate our health, our peace of mind, and as well as breathing. So I'd like to practice this with you very briefly. We'll go through 3 breaths together. And each breath will be roughly about 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out. So I just need 24 seconds of your time. Starting now, what we'll do is we'll breathe in and breathe in with your thoughts, with your head. What thought do you have? What thought you might have for health? What does your gut tell you? What does your intuition tell you? And with the 3rd breath, what does your heart tell you? What is the intention behind you being here? Your intention of breathing. Simple. Breathing can calm you down within seconds. Something that we practice every morning is drinking water when we get up. I mean, along with gratitude and meditation, drinking water is important because when we sleep, this is the time where we lose the most water through respiration. And not perspiration, respiration. So we're losing water. So drink water. That will hydrate you and get your brain going, your heart going as well. And something that not only promotes sleep, you see that I'm focusing on sleep, that's because this is the foundation that builds on everything else. Get in rhythm with the sun. That's about getting vitamin D through your eyes. No sunglasses, please. This is having to do with a Nobel Peace Prize winner only in 2017 that found that we are regulated by light, and there is a master clock that regulates the clocks in every tissue and organ in our body. That master clock tells you when you are at your best, when you're at your worst, when you need sleep. This is your this is related to your chronotype. Your chronotype is your personal preference for working in the morning or working in the evening. We're all different and we're all somewhere in between. Generally, there is a majority of the population being more kind of like in the middle, but there are early people, larks, and very late people, owls. And once we figure out what's best for us and we understand what our rhythm is, our circadian rhythm, you know, you do your best work at 9 a.m. Well, do the most important things then and do the mundane things when you're tired, you're not 100%. That's all. It's just understanding that, you know, our bodies, our minds, they work to a particular clock based on our patterns. And once we understand that, we won't struggle as much. And eating right, okay, we know this from everything we see. More fruits and vegetables, less red meat. I'm sorry, guys, I know you love your steaks, but if we cut back on certain foods, I promise you won't have to be on heart medication. And this is what I'm trying to avoid right now. Fruits and vegetables, yes, you can eat. You know, grilled chicken's great, salmon, fish, wonderful food. And you know, if you struggle with sleep, you need an excuse for dark chocolate. Magnesium-rich foods like dark chocolate and bananas, almonds, these are great for helping you prepare your body for sleep. This is my drink these days, tart cherry, but I'm experimenting now with pomegranate because I've read some interesting things that it can help heart health too, lower blood pressure in particular. So, but whatever you do when it comes to food and eating, do it with love, do it with friends, enjoy, take your time, chew your food, really enjoy it because it's one of the few pleasures we have in life, right? To enjoy our meals, to enjoy our friends. This is important. We don't want to eat under stress. Supplement if you need. This is what we take. And get outside. That is very powerful. Everything that we do in our work has to do with nature, at least for us. When it comes to getting outside, walking together, whatever you need to do, we just need to move our bodies 20 minutes each day. And that could be car washing to gardening. If you have a routine, fitness routine, great, wonderful. Just keep it going. Always keep it going. This is important. Dancing. This is something I'm doing nowadays. This is the Cadillac of trampolines. We call it a Bellicon. And this is me experimenting with with it. While I'm working, but I can also take my lessons for the Bellicon. There's different programs you can run through them. And you could do all these things. Low impact, because I've struggled with my knees and joints, but this is like a NASA-approved exercise that does wonders. But the point is, whatever you do, you know, just keep moving. Connect with nature with you when you can. I mean, it could be just plants in your house. It could be a walk in your garden. But get outside as much as possible. There's even science around this thing called grounding or earthing, where we're physically connecting with the earth. This has also been known to reduce blood viscosity. So sticky blood is a problem when it is this way. Grounding has been known to help with that. There's science behind it. We won't go into detail, but just know that there is a whole new body of study around how we are connected to the earth physically and how we can help our health. And, you know, this is the way I like to bring it all together in Tai Chi and Qigong. It's, you know, grounding for me. It's exercise, very slow. Tai Chi has been recommended for even recovery from heart attacks and heart episodes. Of course, if you're in a hurry, believe me, you can get enough exercise from Tai Chi. And thousands of people over hundreds of or thousands of years have been practicing this. It's just another way of getting movement in and exercise and bringing in nature into all of that. Um, let's see. Somewhere here is, oh, yes, bear with me. Okay, go back one. Sorry about this. Just want to go back one slide. Okay. This is, believe me, this is another way of improving your health. When you're connected with people, we are healthier, because one of the longest studies, longest study on health and well-being is like over 75 years through Harvard. And they basically followed over 600 men through their lives. Men and then later their wives. They interviewed their wives and their family. And one of the key things that was part of their long life was the social connections they had with friends and family. And even another study called the Blue Zones documents where people have lived the longest. These were areas of the world based on how long they lived. They lived over 100. They ate well. They did what little exercises we would think. But the thing that they had was what they call a moai. It's their group of people that they grew up with. And they all had long lives because of that social connection. So it's about building those relationships and those connections. I believe always have those people in your life. And I'm very grateful for the people in mine. And lastly, I wanted to touch a little bit on this organization and what they're doing with technology to help us. It's called HeartMath. And basically, it's founded on the idea that there are more messages coming from your heart to your brain than from your brain to your heart. And again, I won't go into more detail about it. I do have some experts. I have some friends who are licensed to practice HeartMath. And if you would like to learn more about it, how it can help you, just let me know. But the idea is that there's a new thing. It's maybe not so new. It's called the heart rate variability. It's a system that balances our nervous system. We have two parts of our nervous system, the rest and digest, or the flight or fright, meaning it's kind of like slow down or speed up. So the more our heart can do both and bounce back to normal, this is the variability in our heart rate. So our heart doesn't beat 1 second or whatever every time. There's little spaces in between and difference in between. And this variability is a new thing that people, athletes even, are looking into as a way of measuring their fitness and their well-being. It's just something I wanted to share with you because, like breathing, like meditation, it can turn the vibrations, our feelings as well, but also physiologically, the signals from our heart, and create a coherence, a calmness, something that can bring you peace in a very stressful moment. So that's just a little bit about what HeartMath can do. But really, truly, all the other things combined together can help you. So the idea is to create your own rituals, or what I call spirituals. These things like self-care, like yoga. This is yoga nidra. like even a bath and just relaxing and enjoying your life. If you're lucky and you have a sauna, like most of the Scandinavians do, this has been known to improve heart health, saunas. So, um, please, if you can. And also, this is just a little personal preference of mine, but if we take a different attitude towards sleep, like a beautiful first-class journey, dress for the part, dress in your best sleepwear. You don't want to be going to bed in your sweats, the same clothes that you go to the gym with. It doesn't give sleep that special place that it deserves in your life. And you can engage all the senses with aromatherapy, whatever it is that you enjoy smelling, engaging, touching. We know that also technology has a place in our life. We can't help it. So there are some great apps these days. Normally, I don't recommend like having a lot of technology in the bedroom, but you can manage, work around that, and still enjoy the benefits of some of these meditation apps to help calm yourself during, preparing for bed and during stressful times. So I'm just saying, our environment, our space that surrounds us also has an impact on our well-being. So whether it's your home or creating a sleep sanctuary, your bed, all these factors come into play. So, and also there's another element, which is getting support from a friend or from a coach, because we know all these things. It's simple, but not always easy. And sometimes we just need support and accountability. Every great athlete has more than one coach. And something I learned in my time off, you might say, was that asking for help is one of the hardest things to do. And but once we see the value in that, I mean, what a better way to live your life than with your friends and your family, and from someone who believes in you and supports you. So hopefully you've learned a little something about what sleep and heart health means, and you have some new ideas, perspectives, perhaps, on how to create a healthy life. So with that, I think I've ended a little bit earlier, which is good, because just in case there's some questions, I'm here. I wish you a happy new year of the tiger. And I wanted to say thank you. This is my mother, who passed just 5 months ago, who inspired me to be here, because my mother was a teacher for all these years. And that's why I'm here. My true purpose is about helping and teaching. I thought it was design as a profession, but no, actually, it's about helping you. So thank you so much. I will hand over for any questions that I can help answer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mac. Fabulous presentation as always.
Thank you.
We had Lori on the Zoom call. She had a question. What was the supplement? I believe she's referring to the supplement that you and your wife take.
Yes. I believe in supplementation, and there are so many kinds out there. And I believe in supplementation because our foods are not the same as they were 50 years ago or 100 years ago. The soil has been depleted, and so we don't have the vitamins and energy from the soil as we did before. So we take these supplements through a company called Elysian, where it's a network marketing company, like a lot of them are, but this one here we are very strong believers in, and we're consumers. We don't sell it or work it as a business. But this was developed by Apollo Ono, and we had a chance to meet with him and work with him on this product, and as you know, as an Olympian, he was very keen to develop his own supplements, because every time he goes through a border, international border, he has to be drug tested and so forth. So he developed his own so he could bypass all of that. And it has some very interesting ingredients, from ashwagandha to rhodiola. These are what they call adaptogens. And it's just a nice overall supplement that we like to take.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank
And
you.
no, thank you. And Ray said that I use the Calm app, helps for me to get ready for sleep. And had another question. Are there specific essential oils that are conducive to sleep?
Yes, yes, there are the classic ones like lavender. Um, we have three that we're experimenting with. I think one of them is bergamot, and I'm sorry I've forgotten the other one, but you can Google lots of different things. I think it's a very subjective thing. Smell is very powerful, and yes, it can help you sleep. And lavender is the most common one, but I think you have to experiment with some things. Essential oils is new for us. We've been using it on and off for many years, but only recently now I've become kind of a doTERRA customer. So yes, you know, essential oils can help, and lavender is one of my favorites.
And I also use lavender, and I've also found that chamomile is also really great, relaxing. Also, Marlene's has their own essential oils blend specifically for sleep at either store location in our body care section. So check it out.
Yes, yes. Marlene's has lots of great products for sleep, and as you know, I've been there many times. And
Yes.
yes, so yes, we do need these sleep aids. These are aids. These aren't sleeping pills, and some people think melatonin is a sleeping pill. I like to think of it as the uh, the referee at the starting gate with the gun. It starts the signal. It's time to sleep. It doesn't run the race with you. It only tells you it's time to sleep. So melatonin is sometimes confused with something that will make you sleep. It won't. It'll help you prepare for it.
Exactly. Like you said, it's an aid, and something that um, I've had issues in the past is being depleted with some minerals, and especially magnesium. And so I like to make a hot drink of magnesium at night, and it's kind of become a part of my bedtime routine, and it's delicious.
Yes, yes. Whatever it is that helps us, it's so personal, whether it's supplements or diet, or what we do before going to bed. It's all very personal. Um, so find out what's best for you. I help people trying to figure that out. But if you know what it is, then hopefully you're a good sleeper.
Oh, and Rita said, I love the idea of honoring sleep with nice sleep clothes. I I love that too. I never thought about it that way. Dress for success, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And there's even some, physical benefits of having like satin or silk for your pillowcases or even your pajamas. It's good for your skin. It improves your skin um, at a very subtle level, right? But yeah, it's making sleep more special. That's all. And I think, myself personally, I don't sleep with any clothes because I like we need our bodies to be lower in temperature to start that process of preparing our body for sleep. So sometimes a hot shower will help trigger that. But once our body starts to lower its temperature just by a degree or two, then it kicks in melatonin and some other things. So I run quite warm, so sleeping without any clothes works for me, not for everyone. But if I were to, I'm always looking for some beautiful silk line of clothing because I came from a product design background, and I see all kinds of designs in my mind of products like sleepwear and bed linen that are good, that could be good for you.
So those like that 1,000 count Egyptian cotton sheets, there's actually true meaning behind that, and being able to treat yourself. I love it.
Yes, yes.
And someone said silk pillowcase is good for the hair too. Nathan says, love my silk pillowcases, no breakouts over here. Oh, yes, for the skin. So, yay. I'm gonna have to get me some of them.
I can recommend some companies.
Oh, that
Um,
would be wonderful.
there's another added layer. I didn't talk about it, but when it comes to products like the clothes we wear to bed or products that surround our bedroom, there's an environmental level. There's the level um, of were these products produced in an environmentally sustainable way? So, and also, are they off-gassing any toxic fumes or chemicals? Because
Mm.
what we don't realize sometimes is like that new carpet smell, that's actually toxins that's destroying brain cells. Those chemicals that are coming from your carpet or from your drapes or even your blankets could be, not always, but they could be harming you. So there's another level of environmental awareness and sustainability that we could add to the things and products that surround us around sleep.
Thank you, Mac. Oh, we have Fortunato say, I wake up I wake up 2 or 3 times a night to go pee. Um and massages before bed, even back rubs do wonders.
Yes. Fortunato and I go back a long way, and what I and several other people here, and what I can say, when we reach a certain time in our life, yes, getting up to pee, that's a normal thing. It's normal. I do try to stop my drinking of water or other things at a certain time, so I don't get up. I've reduced that. So I've actually reduced the amount of times that I get up, but it is a normal thing. It's just interesting to note what time that people get up, because there's a relation to the time of night to certain body organs in the Ayurvedic tradition, right? I had a client once who used to wake up at between 2 and 3 always, and it's connected to the liver. That's the hour of when the liver functions best. But what I learned also was that the liver was associated with feelings of anger, because there's an emotion associated with certain organs of our body. It's associated with a certain time. This is the Indian tradition. And what I learned later was that he had some anger issues with his ex-wife. And his ex-wife passed away. And when she did, he began to sleep better. So I thought that was really profound. So there are some things working at a very subtle energetic level that can impact sleep. But yeah, generally, as long as if you get up 2 or 3 times a night to pee, as long as you feel rested in the morning, you can go all day without napping. You have lots of energy. You're getting 7 hours minimum in total. And we measure this different ways: Fitbits, Apple Watches. I use my rings. These are sleep fitness trackers. And so I'm very careful, and I look at how much sleep I'm getting. So as long as we get that, and we feel okay, then that's all right. That's a normal part of life, having to get up in the middle of the night, but don't make it, more than 3 times.
Yeah, I also have to limit my water consumption at night because I'll be running to the bathroom and it's like, dang.
Yes.
Well, let me check to see if there's any questions here on Facebook. I don't see any. While we have our wonderful expert here, feel free to enter in the chat box. And with that, we will say goodbye to our Facebook Live friends. Thank you for tuning in, Facebook Live friends. Yay!
Hey, thank you.